Hello, everyone. This is John Burgos, and welcome to Beyond the Ordinary Show. And I hope you guys are ready, because Jill Renee Feeler is coming in hot. And that's what she told me when we got on the call a little while ago, and she is going to channel galore is what it feels like. So it's always a fantastic call with Jill, because so much inspiration, so much wisdom, so much empowerment comes through, and I can feel what she's bringing through, and it's so impassioned and so relevant. And the time is now, guys. And all this chaos that's going on right now, or that's supposedly going on, when we focus on it, it gets amplified. But there's other things going on also that the media isn't sharing, that the collective isn't diving into, but that you guys, as light torchbearers, have access to, and Jill is going to amplify that, I know, on the call for all of us today. So Jill's conversation today is going to be a channeled message for now, keeping it cool amidst the chaos, and she's going to be talking about some pretty amazing stuff that, again, I'm really excited about. So while we're waking up, many humans seem to be stuck, and she's going to talk about what to do about it. We're going to talk about insights on the U.S. election, what you can do specifically to serve light right now, strategies for staying strong in your light no matter what, and again, keeping it cool amidst the chaos. So again, it's going to be a phenomenal call. I'm pretty sure, Jill, we'll get to some live calls, right?
Yes, we'll definitely make time for some live calls. I think I don't know how much time we'll have for that after we get through all this stuff, but yeah, we'll make time.
We'll make time for that. So if any of y'all want to ask your question live, call in, press *2 on your phone, or raise your hand on my side, or you can type your question onto the webcast page, and we've already got some phenomenal questions coming in there, Jill. And guys, just hang back and get ready for a phenomenal show. For any of you who may be new to Jill, let me tell you a little bit about her. Besides that, Jill Renee is just freaking awesome. Jill Renee Feeler is a spiritual teacher, published writer, and inspirational visionary for beings across the globe seeking personal reunion with their highest vibrational access, their avatar consciousness, source creator God. Jill's soul wisdom of this Ascension Cycle and the divine blueprints in place for this dawning age are personally accessible. She uses this wisdom as a platform to guide and demonstrate the developing divine human experience, filled with a sense of wholeness, well-being, joy, and of course, most importantly, love. Her work is activating, revolutionary, and life-changing for those open to receive these gifts. She offers her work for those who resonate with these unique frequencies while honoring that there are many paths to enlightenment and ascension. And Jill, welcome back. It's always just so wonderful to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, John. I love being here. Your audience is very, very cool, and I don't hold back with this group, so it's probably extra fun for me to share here. So thank you for the invitation, and I'm ready to get started if you are.
I am totally ready, and I almost just want to tell you to take off, but why don't we start with the election?
Okay.
Concerning that, because I know that's a hot topic, and you've got a strong opinion about that, or your guides do, and then we'll just see where you guys want to take it.
Yeah, okay. So in order to start there, let's start inside of ourselves, shall we? So I'm going to invite everybody to close your eyes. Hopefully you're in a position to do that, or if you're obviously driving or walking, then don't close your eyes. But if you can, let's close our eyes, and let's just relax our shoulders and take a couple nice deep breaths here in through our nose and out through our mouths. And even deeper and slower with this next one for everybody, please. Okay. So before I get started on the message, I do want to help us anchor into that inner light form that's within all of us. So from right here with those eyes closed, ideally, I'd like you to imagine that there's this beautiful flame right in the center of your heart space. Right in the middle of your heart chakra, there's this beautiful, beautiful source of light. It's there when you don't even remember it's there. It's always on infrastructure of divine energy. And now that you've paid attention to it, this light starts to grow and expand easily, like a science fiction movie. This light just automatically sort of puffs up to at least the size of your human body. And now I encourage you to put a smile on your face, even if it's fake, and let that light grow even wider now. Good. Now it's far beyond your human body. And for some of you, that light is just like a big old power surge going on there. And nice job to everyone with this. Staying right here, just let yourself feel literally the lightness of the light. In other words, the looseness, the flexibility of it, the freedom within the space of light. Nice deep breath again. Okay. And I just heard Metatron say, now we're talking. now we're in there. Okay, so you can open your eyes if you want. So I'm just going to stay right here at this vibration while we get started. John, while you were talking about the topics that I laid out earlier, Metatron was like, we better get started pretty quickly. That's a lot to talk about. So I heard the request for going right into the election, so I'm just going to just take a moment here and go deeper, because I actually, as Human Jill, don't know what we're going to share here either, so I'm excited as well. Okay, just give me a moment, please. Well, you certainly have a lot going on Earth at this time, and even though for those that aren't in the U.S., there seems to be a lot of eyes on what's happening in the United States presidential election, and for good reason. The tables are turning and you can feel it. The tide has shifted and you can see it in both of these candidates. Okay. One wants to upset the apple cart and truly turn everything on its head, thumbing his nose at almost everything that's called establishment. And it's interesting. He doesn't play by the same rules as everyone else does, and it throws them off their game all the time. And then you have another member who's another first. And in the last election from the U.S. from 8 years ago, you also had a first with the first African-American president. And now you have the possibility of the first woman president, and also a first lady to become president, as well as many other firsts that go on with both of them. Let's just relax for a moment and realize that these are not the only two candidates. And isn't it interesting how the structure on Earth at this time so often starts to sort of herd you into either or. It's A or B. It's black or white. It's up or down. It's right or wrong. And from this space that we invited you into earlier, that beautiful source of light within you, we encourage you to pause and loosen your shoulders and reflect on the fact that what you are being handed on this beautiful platter is not the full story. There are far more options than you are offered. And this has been true for this beautiful tribe your whole life. Just reflect for a moment on how many times in your life you've been told that you are either this or that, or that the truth of something is this or that. And at some point you realized, actually, that's not even true. It's far more than that. You are far more than that. The truths are far more than that. So whenever something is simplified in this inauthentic manner, it's a perfect opportunity for what we would call that divine pause. There is the opportunity to get angry. There is the opportunity to get frustrated, to get disenchanted, and totally apathetic about the entire situation. But again, there is another choice. And that's to actually put a smile on your face in wonder and in awe at just how controlled this environment that you're in can feel at times. And your natural state is choices, lots and lots of choices. When we see stress, when we see anxiety, and when we see apathy going on, especially in a community like this, 9 times out of 10, we can look back to a situation where the choices were narrowed inauthentically, and that it was more up to you to realize that there were actually more than those 2 choices. Okay, let's relax our shoulders right here, please. We're going to take a turn here with this talk about the politics and the election. The part that you may not see as easily that we think you care about is that the surface level representation of any of these candidates, the primary 2 or the tertiary candidates from the more fringe-ish sorts of parties, the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, and others that names that you haven't even heard about that you'll probably see on the election ballot when you, if you decide to show up and vote. What is presented as these candidates doesn't begin to describe who and what they are. No human is that flat. No human is that perfectly packaged. Every single human is a wide-ranging opportunity of experiences and thoughts and beliefs, and there's so much range within every form of life, especially humans, because of the divine consciousness that you carry that's very different than other forms of life. So even what you think you know, even what the candidates think they know about themselves, is insufficient. It doesn't begin to explain the possibilities and where their heart may lie should any of them be elected. What can be placed in a soundbite or in a commercial or even in a debate is so flattened, it's so contracted, it's so constricted. Now we're recognizing that this, some of you may be feeling like, well, this isn't helpful at all. Recognize we're not trying to tell you what to do. That's not our job. That would be usurping your authority. And we see you as the masters that you are, whether you're feeling that way or not. This is an election, and yes, it matters, and yet there's so much more to what is going on the planet than this election and what's been presented to you as the election. So we're asking you to pause and go deeper into yourself, into what you would like to see represented in a candidate or in an elected official. And there's a sigh of resignation for many of you at the gap between what you'd like to see and what you do see. And we confirm that from what we're seeing as well. There's a lot lacking here, and this is true. And yet, there's a deeper story here. And that's that humanity has been pretending for far too long that the elected officials could save them, that public policy was the answer, that the individual humans didn't have the control to make a better life, to make the changes that they wanted to make. From our view, this has been a further wedge between the individual human and its source energy. The natural state of your source energy is to claim your divine power. Not just looking for your authority, but not accepting anything that would deny your authority. Your choices, your thoughts, your beliefs, your values, and what you want to do with your life, or what you don't want to do with your life. every single instance of a community or an individual human looking to a government official or some sort of elected leader to save them, perhaps from themselves, or to rescue some group that they're concerned about, has inherent flaws. Now we know this is disappointing because it sounded so good that if just the right person would be elected or just the right party was in charge, then everything would be better. But friends, look around you. You've been on the planet long enough to see the ones you wanted in charge be in charge and not. And things haven't changed as much as you hoped they would. Do you know why that is? It's not because of the candidates. It's not because of which party is in office. It's because of the lack of authority that humanity has been willing to step up to within their own lives. There are so many examples in this group of radical transformation that was far more noticeable to you and to your inner circle than any public policy or any tax break or tax increase ever could be. It's not that those public policies or public systems or elected officials don't matter. It's that what matters so much more is you and your energy field and what you do with your life, no matter who gets elected or who doesn't. Do you see it? Do you see the game better now? That what you've been offered is like a item offered on the holiday discount rack. This will make your life better. This candidate will make your life better, but not the other one. This present for so-and-so will make them smile on holiday morning. It's selling you a package that is not, it's not real. It's not what it's pretending to be. And we do encourage you to smile at this realization, at this fresh perspective, that the real power that you were looking for was within yourself. But let's notice for a minute, again, that disappointment, because some of you were really hoping that the right candidate, the right policy, the right tax code, whatever outside solution was going to help another community that's near and dear to you. Whether it's young families, children that are in the public education system, those that have disabilities, those that don't have health insurance, those are real issues. And we wish you could fix it for them too, because your hearts are so big and your generosity is so endless. So there are things that can be done for those communities, but asking a very inefficient structure like a government to do it for you or on behalf of this group, I don't know if you've noticed, but it tends to not go very well. It's very inefficient. By the time the actual solution actually gets to its intended target, it's so watered down and so ineffective that it's like, where did all that value go? Where did all that good intent go? It was squandered off along the way. We have amazing visions, and we see timelines for humanity in which there is more private organizations and private enterprises that are well-funded and are much more lean and much more directly targeted at those communities that are either at risk or for whatever reason higher need, whether that's a temporary need or a permanent need. I'm sorry, we're getting all policy geeky here, but these are important matters that we see within your scope right now, and we care about you. We care about all of these things, and we care about those people that you care about too. So let's take the government idealism perhaps off the pedestal and place individual pedestals in place with every single form of life, every single human, no matter what its state of affairs, feeling sturdy and stable in its divine power. Do some need more help? Yes. Are some far more capable than they realize? Yes. And if the right situations are set in motion, if the right energy patterns are set in motion, each and every human is far more likely to surpass their own sense of limitations and truly soar. And wouldn't that be amazing to witness with your own eyes? That's something to celebrate. And that's not something you vote for on Election Day. But it's something you watch for on an everyday basis by really asking, is somebody's goal truly matching the outcome that you've seen? There's a lot of opportunities for improvement in this area. And it's very possible that any of these candidates in this, again, we're focused on the U.S. election, but it's possible that any of these candidates could help facilitate that sort of outcome. Some more easily than others. These are just our view. We value sovereignty and individuality and recognition of individual value and inherent love of life, and instilling that within each human as much as each human would choose it. So that's why we shared what we've shared so far.
That's beautiful. Thank you for bringing that in. Now, Jill, a lot that we get, and you brought this in conversation in your notes to me also, but it's a lot of people have felt like we're here to make a difference in the world, but sometimes we don't see that in the grander scheme of things.
Yeah, that's a big one. Okay, let me go straight into that, John. Oh, we're smiling. Jesus is like, we've talked about this recently. Yes, you're right, and we're going to talk about it again. There's been a lot of misunderstandings, and okay, let me switch gears here. For anyone here that had been told that you were here to turn the lights on for humanity, recognize that turning the lights on doesn't mean that those with eyes closed will see that light. When we look at you, we see a fabulous set of beings that have turned on a lot of light in this reality. And from our perspective, you should be extremely proud of everything that you are and everything that you've done and every single breakthrough you've made in your life to be the shining, gorgeous example of love that we see in front of us right now. What may not have been communicated well before, and we wish to be very clear about this communication now, is that turning on the lights does not mean that others will choose to see it. And again, that's often associated with disappointment. Because some of you are thinking, what's the point of turning on the light if these others that don't know they have this ability can't see it? It's not that they can't see it. They just, for whatever reasons, are not choosing to see it. You are still very much accomplishing your mission by the turning on of the lights that you are, by turning on your own light. And it is making a difference here. It may not just be, it may not be as noticeable as you'd like it to be, and it may not be as contagious as you'd like it to be, in a good way, contagious. So another perspective is that you can fully accomplish your goal as your soul signature of turning on the lights here and restoring lights and amping up the light in this reality and this is the important part, without anyone else ever turning on their light as a result of that. That has been a big item of misinformation, because what many of you had been told or had interpreted is that obviously that would mean that it would catch on like wildfire, and that there would be just oodles and oodles of individuals and beings that you care about or have never met all of a sudden awakening. It's not that that's not happening, because there is an expansion of those that are connecting with their light. It's that the gap between everyone getting it and those that are getting it is so wide that your beautiful brains can't take your eyes off it. So there is this constant emphasis on, well, so-and-so's not awake yet, so-and-so's not awake yet. And what we would wish to offer you is, and that's okay. This is very true, that somebody that's unawakened, their higher self is not wringing their hands in worry and angst that they haven't woken up yet. Beings on this call, Earth is also a vacation planet where souls continue to incarnate for the purpose of forgetting that they are God. And there really isn't anything you can do, nor from our recommendation would there be anything that you don't even need to want it for everyone to wake up like you have woken up, or like some beings near you have woken up. You don't need them to move forward. You've never needed a majority to move forward. A group ascension experience is a very often hijacked timeline scenario that's offered, and this is going to be troubling to a lot of you, but it's true, to distract the bringers of light in this world. There is actually nothing more successful at distracting a light bringer than to tell them that their work is conditioned on others getting it. And we love you enough to be frank and honest, perhaps brutally honest, with you about that fact. So it's not that you had anything wrong or that, someone lied to you or something like that. It's just that misunderstanding from our perspective is far too common, especially in advanced groups like this that have been beaming for so long and so beautifully. And we just really wish to put that myth to bed so that each and every one of you can carry on with the expansion of light that you have been and will continue to be, regardless of those whose lights feel like they're turned off.
That's really beautiful, because I think that that's a big reason why there's so many light workers, if you want to label them, that seem to be, they think that they're stuck and they're really not.
That's right. It's a perception. It's a misperception.
Right.
It's all about your glow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, and I was going to say, it's again, we take it upon ourselves. We're so empathic and want to see other people get on the other side of suffering that we take on this job. And like you've said, we think it's our responsibility to make sure that we shake people up. And I'm not quoting you verbatim, but I mean, that's what it feels like, that we shake them up so they can wake up. And we're blocking our growth by doing that. And really, I think our only job, our true job, and I mean this in the most positive manner, is to be selfish so that we can illuminate our light even more and continue growing, knowing that that's not really our job. We can be examples of what's possible, but we're not mission-driven to make sure that everybody else wakes up, because then we're playing God. Then we're taking other people's sovereignty away from them, as you stated.
Yes. The other nuance we'd like to add on to the beautiful those components that you just added on, is that the best thing you can do for those communities or those individuals that you are the most concerned about, that for whatever reason you feel are even more detached from their light or even more disenfranchised in some way, you're probably concerned about them because you just sense that they're not as strong as you are, or that they don't seem as likely to grab onto that inner light as you did. So notice that your perception of them is that they're not strong enough, that they're weaker than you are, that they're less durable than you are. And that's fine, but again, from what we were talking about earlier, notice, is that approach having the outcome that you intended? Because what it often does is it just perpetuates the sense of separation that they're feeling from their own light of God within them. So you may want to explore another way to actually perceive them. We would offer the upgrade that they're far stronger than they realize, and that it doesn't have to be dishonoring to treat someone as of a peer, if you will, in the light of God world, all that is, even amidst their present challenges or the lifelong struggles that they may have, or whatever condition or ailment that they're currently facing. Looking for their strengths, looking for and aiming your attention towards that eternal flame, that light within them, is the most transformative power they have, and they may not know that. So you may be the first one that actually sees that and treats them accordingly. So it's not about pretending that they don't have challenges or overlooking any challenges. It's recognizing that at their core, they're amazing, and there's so much strength there. And the miracles that you hear about, where somebody, couldn't walk and then they could, or a magical healing, miraculous healing takes place, it is very much about the recipient of the miracle. And they're choosing to grab on to this completely different scenario, this completely different energy pattern. That's nothing but upward spiraling and nothing but rooted in their own divine connection.
That's beautiful.
That's where the miracles happen. So this is likely to take a while for some of you to really kind of wrap your head around in terms of a before and an after. But you guys, it's worth it, because there is simply so much opportunity in this world to be your light in ways that feel more effective and more productive to you. And again, it's not about saving others. It's about reorienting how you glow your light and how you perceive yourself and how you perceive others, and that their journey isn't your responsibility. And yes, assistance can be offered, but notice the subtleties of how you're offering that assistance. And again, is it having the effect that you had intended it to have?
So how else can we stay strong in our light and not get caught up in the chaos, not get caught up in the dense emotions and vibrations that are coming up as we continue to witness suffering, as we continue to witness people in the ignorance of what the light holds?
Yeah. Great question. Okay, so there's several strategies you can use. One is to pause. Those downward spirals, the downward spirals that happen within your energy field where you feel amazing and then all of a sudden you think about someone, or you come across something like the election coverage, a debate or something, and you feel your energy just getting smaller and smaller and smaller, contracting into this tight little ball that again feels very few choices, like you're being herded like cattle, and it's just like that's not normal. Noticing that downward spiral as it's happening so that you literally can pause. And some phrases that we know works for our partner is this true? Is what's being shown to me, or what's being conveyed to me, or even what my eyes are seeing, is there more to this than I'm currently realizing? And that alone ceases the downward spiral, and it can actually lead to an automatic expansion again, back to where you feel more at home in that light of God within you, back to where you feel more of those divine choices and that beautiful curiosity that is the hallmark of Source Creator God. Your Source Creator essence is very curious. I wonder if that's true. I wonder if there's more to the story than that. I wonder if this is a possibility. I wonder if that may be a possibility. I wonder what I want to try next. That approach can be an absolute game changer all the way across the board. Because mainly those downward spirals, those contracting moments happen with thoughts and beliefs and interpretations. And the good thing is, notice all three of those are 100% within your control. 100%.
Wow, these are powerful insights. And really, what it all leads me to is that we're getting away from judging and we're really feeling into the truth of what's occurring. We're pausing and getting away from the collective judgment.
Yes. And the programming.
And the programming and tapping into the truth.
And the manipulation and the control that's really out there. This happens, by the way, on a micro level, whether it's a one-on-one relationship with you and one other person. It also happens globally. I mean, my goodness, from our perspective, there are programs of, sending lunar modules or these robotic instruments sent off to Mars, and the money involved in that is astronomical. How would a fun pun right there, relative to how those resources could be deployed. So somebody has basically decided that those monies needed to be spent that way, and won't it be interesting when more and more of the citizens that would be involved in funding something like that say, I wonder if that's a good use of our money. I wonder if that's a good use of our time. Yes, people are employed by this project, but what else could they be employed doing?
Absolutely. And it's funny for me, Jill, and some of the questions that are coming in through the webcast point this out for me also, but I look at the macro level that you're talking about, and what's going on in the macro is what we're being asked individually, energetically, on a vibrational level to adjust in our own micro life as well. It's all pointing inward towards us. So with the elections, what don't you like about it? How are you being apathetic? How are you being charged up? How are you reacting in a particular way? And how does it point out to what's going on in your personal life? So I'd love to read a question that came in from Janice in Princeton. I think it's such a great question. It's so relevant. And so Janice asked, how would a Christed being create in these times? Would they vote in this crazy election or simply observe in a high vibrational way?
Oh, I love that. Okay, now notice, again, we're going to apply what we've just been offered here. Notice the either or. Do they vote or do they not vote? And we would say there's a big and there. There really isn't one right answer. And this is something that there's a lot of desire to make things overly simplistic. And these beautiful, each of you are just such beautiful beings. You guys, why would you want to simplify the creator energy that you are? Just please recognize any part of you that is wanting a boiled down, simplified approach of, and let's just honor and just give that part of you a hug that really is asking, somebody just please tell me, should I vote or not vote? What you're saying
either
is,
or.
I don't want to make this decision. Somebody else please make it for me. And we're looking at you saying that you are your soul signature's human. You are an aspect of Source Creator God that desired so beautifully to be human right now. And you have one important decision going on here, and you want to ask somebody else to make it for you? What if there isn't a wrong answer? What if there are different ways that you will feel vibrationally by making one choice or another? To some of you, deciding not to vote may feel like an upgrade, like, oh, thank goodness. I've decided that these elections are, highly manipulated. They don't even matter. I'm not going to vote. And you could be fine. You could actually be upgraded by the relief that you've walked away from the system. And there could be someone very equally, beautifully, vibrationally aligned where you are, that comes to a different creator conclusion that says, you know what, these elections, even if this vote is sort of jacked up, I feel like I have the opportunity to vote. I've actually know that my ancestors have died for my right to vote in these elections. I feel like it's a moral obligation to vote and to try and look deeper within these candidates that have been packaged so insanely and try to make a conscionable choice here that feels good to me. It feels better to do something than to pretend I don't have this right or pretend that it doesn't matter. We honor both of those scenarios. Notice also, so not only is there this, for some, a desire to hand off, it's kind of like the lob the ball, like somebody please just get it for me because I don't want to be hanging on to this hot potato anymore. It's driving me crazy. But there's another layer to this. Oh, I don't want to lose it here. Hang on, John. Oh, okay. No, I'm almost there. Oh, get it back to me. Okay, I see the energy package, and I want to make sure I get it right. They're repackaging it for me. Okay, hang on. Okay, thank you. And that is that there are so many more choices that we could be making, and there's deeper layers to all of this. So give yourself that authority. Give yourself permission. Okay, here it is. Thank you. I knew I wasn't quite grabbing it. The polarizing and the forcing that, well, no one in a group like this would ever vote for this person, or surely no one I know is voting for that person. That's a very classic oversimplification of creator energy in any group. And we find it very interesting that in some communities there's been this homogeneous sort of blueprint of, well, oh, if I'm in this group, surely we all vote for that party, or surely we all support this person. And it really shuts off a lot of the creative juices that can happen within a community. You don't all have to agree on whom you're supporting, and it's been very interesting, for example, unfriending going on within Facebook and who is supporting whom. And it doesn't have to be that divisive for you and you within this, you and, individuals and beings within a community like this. There's a lot of unnecessary ill will being created by whom somebody is supporting. Wouldn't it be interesting to rather just kind of say, wow, they must clearly be perceiving that person totally different than I am, and I still love that person, I still care about that person. You may even want to reach out in a private message and say, okay, I'm just missing something. Could you give me a one or two bullet statement on like, what are you thinking? Because I really want to know. John, did I hang up?
We're there. No,
okay, good.
I both hung up.
It was so quiet.
It got quiet, yeah. I wasn't sure if you were channeling some more. What's interesting for me and what's really beautiful about the question that Janice asked as well, and I'd love yours and the guide's take on this, is that Janice's concern about the election on the macro, I can understand, and there's no right, wrong. There's just where we are. But if we look at it from the perspective on the micro, where's Janice and a lot of us not making decisions and observing and waiting or waiting for other information to come in, or just sitting back and observing and not moving forward and feeling like we're stuck on an individual basis? It's the same scenario, but playing out on an individual lives and a personal level instead of on the macro. And where are we being influenced by the collective, our friends, our family, our immediate collective, based on their judgments, their fears, and we're not moving because we're feeling them, and we really can't make a decision in the midst of the emotional chaos.
Mm-hmm. And notice how much social pressure there is here, right? I mean, you imagine a family gathering where somebody says, okay, Sally, who are you voting for? You have every right to keep that information private. It really isn't their business whom you're voting for or whom you aren't. And there's so many opportunities for stating that you'd rather not share, and then just have a smile on your face and confidence and letting it move on from there. You don't see, they're inviting you into a polarity game, and you don't have to play there. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And again, it doesn't have to even deal with the election. It could be opinions about what to do with our work, how our relationships are going, how to raise our kids, and what plumber to hire. It's, again, we get caught up in all these different opinions and all these other things, and we think that we're stuck, and that's not true. It's that our divinity is asking us to step into the sovereignty that we've been gifted since birth, since always. Yep. And to go, this is where I stand. This is how I'm going to make my decision.
Exactly. The other layer here is that and this does happen a lot, when there's so much A, misinformation, and B, the information that you do have seems so limiting and so lacking. It's like, clearly I don't have enough information to make an informed decision. We would really encourage you to notice that is the norm. That is more the norm than the exception, that you don't have perfect information. So, interesting. Our partner's dog just heavily snorted at that. There is this opportunity for each and every one of you to get more comfortable with uncertainty and claim your mastery even when you don't have all the information that your brain would be looking for. Again, what we pointed out earlier about the presidential election in the U.S. is that it's possible, and this is probably the hardest part to grasp. It's possible that any of these candidates, any single one of them, could actually be in alignment with your core beliefs and what you'd really want to see happen in this country. I mean, let's take the example of the one that's in office right now for those that are in the U.S. and your country. Obama promised a lot of different things when he was first elected and when he was reelected that have not come to pass.
Absolutely true.
Any of these candidates has the potential to surprise you, and any of them have the potential to disappoint you. So again, let's take some of the kind of pressure off of that role being God in your reality and bring it back to the individual where, from our perspective, it truly is better placed and actually belongs. Letting, a public system of authority and control and, allocation of resources and those sorts of things be there, but not, there's been far too many individuals really asking the government to play God and fix everything, and that isn't working.
Well, and something that's been brought up and that you're alluding to on this call, and it's really important because those of you guys who are listening to the call, you've actually taken steps that are outside of the norm. Just by being on this call, by being part of the Beyond the Ordinary community, by being part of Jill's community, you're saying there's something else and I'm going to search for it. You're questioning, you're following your heart's longing, saying, I know there's something else. And you're tapping into phone calls and conversations that are illuminating more of the truth that you feel in your heart. And based on that, you're making a difference not only in your own life, but you're causing ripple effects in the rest of the world by opening up to these new possibilities and shedding the ignorance that has kept us asleep for so long.
Yes. So let's do something right here. Let's do a really important activation, and I just saw it when you used the word searching for.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to invite everybody back into themselves, closing your eyes, putting a smile on your face, even if it's fake, and taking a couple nice deep breaths here. We want to invite you into a range, a new spectrum of yourself, where you move from the role of seeker or searcher to creator and explorer, from uncertain to curious, from isolating to exploratory, from protective to feeling safe. Allowing more of your soul signature that wants you and is encouraging you to feel more masterful, more confident, more savvy, more light-based, more tuned and energized by the light, no matter what happens here. All of your peer group, fellow masters of light that have come before you, that some of you are still remain very impressed by. How did they do it? How did they do it? The world was not perfect when any of them was here. None of them walked into an ideal situation on Earth, and none of them walked out when there was an ideal situation on Earth. All of them had messy situations, globally and personally, on Earth while they were here. So they're looking at you, asking you to, to notice that there has been this false notion that you're here to make it perfect. Or it's got to be just right. No, it doesn't. This is Earth. Earth is inherently messy. And Gaia is just saying right here, in a glorious way. Gloriously messy. Riddled with uncertainty. Filled with miscommunication and misunderstandings. With a baseline of light, you can't lose. With the baseline of you being tuned to the loving, unconditionally compassionate aspect of Source Creator God that you are, you've got this. You don't need perfect situations. You're not like an athlete that needs to make sure that the track is dry in order to run. You were built for this. You built yourself for this mess. And sometimes it doesn't feel like a mess. And you get to feel the bliss and the heaven within that the other masters of light also knew. You don't have to hang out there. It's just good to know that it is there, right alongside the mess, right alongside any misinformation or manipulation. Anchor onto that light, no matter what's going on. And it will help you become even more confident with your decisions, with your actions, or you're deciding not to act. That no matter what course you decide to take in any situation, none of it changes the fact that you are a master of light, no matter what. Even when it doesn't feel like it, even when it doesn't look like it, that light within you is indestructible. And you can allow yourself to know how strong it is that you still care, that you're still hopeful, that you still love other people even when they're being a complete jerk. That's strong light within every single one of you. Nurture that start from there with everything. And whenever you feel like the energies on earth are pulling you away from that or making you feel so small that you can't even feel that inner light within you because you're just too kind of constricted and contracted, that's when you can put that smile on your face and go, oh my gosh, I'm doing it again. And this happens here. Earth is messy. I contracted again. Okay, and then you can laugh at yourself, create a process that works for you. Our partner laughs at herself all the time. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it again. And then she'll giggle and she smiles and then she releases from the contracted state and then she's present again. Then she can feel the choices again. Then she can feel the love for herself and the love for others again. The facts didn't change. Her alignment or her energy pattern with source is what changed. Every single one of you has that ability. Now notice, and this is important, John, nowhere in these strategies, nowhere in this conversation have we talked about the need for you to communicate with your team. We never said that. That's another intense preoccupation that happens within consciousness and spiritual communities that we would really like to see put to bed. Another myth. It is not, none of those strategies involved Jill communicating with us or her interacting with us. It was all within her ability to notice where she was energetically contracted, expanded, feeling choices, not feeling choices, etc. Yeah. Relaxing the shoulders. There we go. And you can open your eyes if you haven't already.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
That's wonderful. That's
okay,
excellent.
good.
And I love it. And I love the part that we don't have to rely. We're not being asked to go outside of ourselves for anything.
Anything.
It's all within us. It's all within us. It's so beautiful. It's so exciting, Jill, what's coming up also, because we're talking about these things, but you're actually tapping into 2017 in a big way, and I want to delve a little bit into that in a little bit. Okay. Because I know you're going to do it a lot during your special offer, and I want to take some live calls because we promised. But before we do both those things, since I did mention 2017, and there's big energies coming in, I love the video that you put on the special offer page also because you talk about the completion cycles also, which is big because, again, you didn't have an awareness about these completion cycles because this wasn't part of your awareness when the last one came about, which I love that you talked about. So this is so cool because your perspective is so fresh, your awareness and the wisdom that's being channeled in. It's so in tune with the vibration that we're being invited into that I'm thrilled that you offer these offers through our show because this is really advanced. This is like class 501, but because of the vibration that you carry, instead of 101 class, this is like 501, but because of the vibration that you carry and how accessible you make things, even if people are just starting off, if you guys are on this call, you're carrying the energy. If you've lasted this long, you have the capacity to tap in and receive this information. So I want to invite everyone that's on the call, click on the special offer button that's on the webcast page and follow along with Jill as she describes to you why this package is so relevant to what's coming up and how it's going to benefit all of us by you participating in this. And again, to get the special offer button, just if you're listening on the webcast page, click on the special offer button. It's going to take you to a new page called the Marketplace. On the Marketplace, you'll see Jill's picture on the top left-hand corner. Click on the special offer button one more time, and it'll take you to the offer page. If you're not on the webcast, you can get to the same page by going to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. And again, find Jill's picture, click on the special offer button, and voila, there you are. And Jill, lead us through this and what compelled you to bring these energies in. I love it.
Okay, so I do love the process I go through when I'm working with my team on what the special offer should be and different kind of projects that we want to kick off and offer to our audience. And when I was headed down a certain path, actually, for your special offer. And then at one point, when I got to naming it, they said, or you could do it for everybody. And I was like, wait, what? And, okay. So 2017, for those that don't know, as of numerologically 201 year, I, as Human Jill, have never studied numerology. I just know a little bit about it as Human Jill. But energetically, we are transitioning, and we actually are already in the early stages of this, transitioning from the 9-year 2016 to the 1 year. And it isn't just like going from one step to another. It's actually a completely different spiral. And the way that I talk about it in the videos is, imagine a parking garage with 9 levels, and there's that you climb from one level to the other. And now, so we've reached that 9th level, and now there's a whole nother level of 1 through 9 that we're launching in 2017. We get, in many ways, as the human anchors of light, we have a very special role to play in where we place that 1 year. Do we want to place it at the same ground floor of the parking garage that we're on right now? Do we want to have it be 9 plus, right above? Do we want to have it be slightly at an angle? It's just, there are so many transformations that can happen in a 1 year and in the transition from a 9 to a 1. So when my team was showing me, Jill, you're meeting with him and the group at the end of September, do you want to help steer the energy from the 9 to the 1? Almost like, imagine like an aircraft carrier, or not aircraft carrier, there's a space station. And they get like refueled, or there's actually jets that are flying in the sky, and then they get refueled while they're in flight. And there's this tube that comes through, and it reconnects, and there's this very delicate position that it's in to get it just right. We are in that scenario, that window right now, especially over the next 4 weeks, of orienting where this 1 through 9 parking garage, if you will, is at right now, and how we're aligning with the next parking garage that isn't being built for us. It's being built by us. And we are in a very different position right now than we were 9 years ago, to be more aware, more conscious, and more of our directed humanness kind of at the wheel, if you will, of the energies that are here. Everyone will have the opportunity in how they choose or not to receive what is offered. But a group like this has, and there's a lot, I can tell there's a lot of beings that don't want me to say this next part because they don't want it to be true. They don't want us to know this. So this hang on to your hats, everybody. It is a divine window of opportunity for us to acknowledge the divine authority we hold within our humanness. If we don't take on that authority, it will be taken on by another, and we don't even realize it. We don't even realize that we've handed over our authority, that we've given in to a system that feels too big to change. We have so much, we have more than enough authority and instrumentation, they're saying instrumentation, in this reality to really steer these next 9 years in a way where we actually may knock our socks off. And it isn't about how many, and it isn't about who gets it. It's about us continuously expanding the level of light that we're willing and choosing to hold in our humanity. We don't have to leave here to radically upgrade even more the human blueprint that we are. That's been another myth, is that, oh, well, you can't hold that much light in the 3D, so you're going to have to ascend and leave Earth. And Gaia's like, not true. We can do everything we dream of right here, just the way things are, by more fully accessing the level of light that we have the ability to turn up the dial on, especially going into this 1 year.
That's a big message. And what a great opportunity.
Amazing.
What a great opportunity. What an amazing opportunity. It's unprecedented, truly.
It is. It totally is. So when they showed this to me, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was thinking, how am I going to explain that? And they're like, Jill, don't worry about it. You know, and they were saying to me, you know that words don't begin to describe the energy that you hold. And I'm like, okay, that's true. So they said, you just feel it and find words that go as close to what you're feeling as possible. And let the receivers of the message and this invitation, let them choose. Let them be their own authority about whether they feel the call to participate in this.
Wow. So this is big, guys. And again, the messaging behind this and what's being delivered, it's profound. It's unprecedented. And we chose to be here at this time because, frankly, I think we've earned our stripes.
Totally.
In this
and
lifetime
now,
and in previous lifetimes, right. And now we get to reap the benefits.
Yes.
Or
and
we
now
get to drink the wine. Yeah.
Drink the wine,
fruit,
I love that. And now we can step off of any of those kind of trains that have had us going in a direction that weren't even real, that weren't even true, and weren't even really about why we're here. Now thank you. I was just saying that to my team because I realized why they talked about some of the things they talked about. They're like, you trusted us. Thank you for trusting us. We knew what we were doing to get us right here where we can step off of any of those mistruths and myths and stand more solidly in our own light to really, because see, those are distractions. Can you imagine how perfect that would have been had we not met tonight, that we would have just been going off on the election and, who do I not want to talk to because they're voting for so-and-so, and this polarized view, missing this huge opportunity that we have over these next 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, what we could be feeling by even the December solstice, oh my gosh, wow, yeah. So the timing of the call, go ahead, yeah. Sorry.
I was going to say, it was funny, before we even got on the call, both of us were having our own sets of distractions that were really acting as a mirror for distractions that were trying to take us away from the depth of the call that we were going to have today.
That's right. And we did not let it get us, did we? Yeah.
Like, no,
we had funny
doesn't play that.
Landlines not working the way they're supposed to, just weird stuff. So anyway, it's the other thing I wanted to mention is the calls. So we're doing it in 3 live calls, which will also be archived. So if anyone misses one of the calls or any of the calls, you guys, we are operating beyond the time-space continuum with these energies. Mm-hmm. So whether you participate live or in archive, I want you to trust yourself that even if you participate years down the road, that you were there with the live experience and that it is just as relevant for you no matter when you participate. I was prompted really, really strongly by my team to start this weekend. So we're actually going to have the first call on October 2nd. So for anyone that wants to join, there's really no time to spare. We're going to get started right away. And I know that may not be ideal because, replays on the weekend and stuff in April, your staff member was like, can't you push it out? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I can't.
We're doing it. We're doing it. No, we're doing it. The time is now.
The time is now, exactly. There's a beautiful window of opportunity here, and yeah, just like those airplanes that are getting refueled in the sky, you got to time it exactly right. And in this one, and it's funny because I'm like, yeah, but we're operating at the time beyond the time-space continuum. Yes, but we don't want to miss this window.
Well, it's a great window. So again, what you guys are going to get, you're going to get 2 pre-recorded preparatory workshops. There's 3 live calls with Jill. And what will the live calls consist of, Jill? Is it going to be completely channeled? Will people have the opportunity to ask questions?
They will. So what I do is we do a kind of a breathing and meditation activation at the beginning, like we did tonight, getting us kind of, my dog is snorting. It's so
funny. Love that, yeah.
It's so funny. Getting us centered in that light, because I like to start everything from that amazing light that's within each and every one of us. It just makes everything better. So we start there, then there would be a live message, and then there would be time for Q&A. And I love all of those facets of each call. They all feel so important.
There's so much that comes in through that. So again, and I hear every time you're on, and the people that participate on your calls, I hear back from the people who have gone in deeper with you, and they write in, and then they show up on your Facebook posts, which I follow, by the way, and I see the comments, and I see the level of depth and that they're receiving, but I also, I can sense like a shift in energy, like this empowerment, this confidence, this mastery that's being amplified in each of them as they comment back and forth on your page. It's really cool.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to see, because thank goodness that you guys are participating in this and are really waking up even more to that light within you. And again, we don't have to wait for anybody else to do it. We can choose to do it for ourselves, and we can do this by choosing what resonates with our heart and following that guidance. Our mind doesn't always have to know, but God, our heart does. Our heart knows.
John, so beautiful. I want to add something here that I was just feeling based on what you just said, because there was a part of me that was like, yeah, but so I like to play kind of that devil's advocate for myself.
I love that you do that.
Yeah. So that I'm solid with my team. Like, have we thought about the small angles? And what I was just kind of asking them, or maybe I was picking up on somebody else's kind of question was, but if we're building this new parking garage and there's so many people still asleep and we don't have to wait for them to wake up, who's going to use that extra parking garage? We are.
Yep.
We are. So the beautiful thing is that when we use it, it brings it online for everyone else, because we chose to be human. We access it, we create it, and then we access it and use it within our humanness. And that it's almost like it makes it a green light for any other human, forward, backward, present in time, to utilize. So it's perfect, you guys. And we've done this before. We've done something similar to this before, where we use these windows to create structures that very few humans used. And that's okay.
It's exciting. It's so exciting what's coming up. Okay, so we get 3 live calls, and there's also a dedicated Facebook group.
Yes,
tell us about that.
True. It's also about that, because that interaction in those Facebook groups, that's been a really tangible part of the experience in the previous special offers that we've done, the previous 2 this year, that we did. So, it's a great way to interact.
It's a great way to interact, and I love that it also brings up the devil's advocate in other people also. So like, but you said this, but how about this? And you're so great at responding to that and looking at angles and not saying that I've got all the answers, but you really check guidance. And you check with your team, and it's again, it's not that it's either this or that. It's your sincerity and authenticity to really access the truth. It's beautiful, and in your dedication to your own growth really acts as a catalyst for the way that you show up for the rest of the group as well. So it's such a beautiful example of what you do for yourself winds up being a benefit for everybody else that's involved also.
Thank you, John. That means a lot to me. It isn't about having all the answers. It's about giving yourself access to the answers you do have, and being open to creating other solutions as we go, where they haven't been created before. Sometimes we're looking for an answer that hasn't been created yet. That's why we feel so uncertain. So waiting for information is like totally misunderstanding the whole scene.
Oh, Jill, you brought up something at the beginning of the call, and it's something that I've been so aligned with, that actually my guide shared with me when I went into this guided meditation, and it's part of that not knowing. And part of the not knowing allows us, and again, you mentioned at the beginning of the call, it's like, how can you possibly tap into my brain? What is going on? But you mentioned that state of being in awe and wonder, and by not knowing, we gift ourselves that state back again.
Yes. It's a huge graduation. I mean, let's admit that, please, that going from a mindset of there is an answer, I just don't know it, right? That's the before. And then the after is, I think what's happening here is there isn't an answer yet. So what do I want to try out here? it's totally different and way more aligned with the truth of what's going on here. And it aligns you much more fully to your own soul signature within yourself. Because the before has us chasing outside of ourselves, thinking, well, somebody must have the answer. What if no one has the answer? And Van Gogh just popped in and said, what if no one's created the answer yet? So stop waiting around. Thank you. Thank you, Vassal.
Yeah, and you look at it also, though, but it also puts us in our creative being. We go back to the innocence that we've stepped away from, that innocence when we use creativity to step into our worlds and create joy and passion from there. Our 4-year-old or 3-year-old selves that knew all this divinity that got lost in the conditioning, we step back into that from such more empowered place.
That's so awesome.
Because
and
of where we are now.
I love that. I love the word innocence, and for those that think that equate innocence with naivete, which it isn't, what another word that may work better for you is purity. The purity of our childlike curiosity and childlike trust.
Enthusiasm.
And trust of self. Yeah, enthusiasm, exactly. Yeah, there's nothing sadder to me than a dispassionate, disgruntled light bringer.
like a dispassionate 3-year-old, right? It's the same thing.
There's not going to be a lot going on here.
Right. So again, this is exciting because you're bringing all that in. We're tapping that into that sovereignty, and that sovereignty brings along those gifts. It brings back that wonder, that awe, that purity that you mentioned. So this is, again, and to get into the 2017 energies and be catapulted into it with your awareness, it's going to be an amazing experience, guys. So this is a special offer. What we haven't mentioned is that the first 10 people who purchase Jill's product, the special offer, get a 15-minute private session with Jill. So you guys are going to want to sign up fast to get this on, because Jill's sessions are absolutely amazing. And again, all of this package, it's again Jill's being super generous with us here and Beyond the Ordinary. I love you, Jill. Thank you so much. It's $149, guys. It's jam-packed. There's a 2-payment option to participate as well. So guys, take advantage of it. There's every reason to participate and start benefiting from what's coming in for us, and to, again, step into that passion, that innocence, that awe, that wonder that we have access to as you tap into your truth of June with Jill. In this offer. Is there anything else that you want to say about the offer, Jill, other than it's freaking amazing?
I think what I would like to say is that, I don't hold back. And I know for some people that feel maybe less confident in their own, spirituality and consciousness, some people get intimidated, like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. It's not like that, you guys. What I'm doing in not holding back is I'm going to treat you as the sovereign being that you are. And what I find happens, no matter how personally evolved someone feels or doesn't feel, is it actually invites you to grab onto more of that soul signature, that sovereignty, that innate amazingness that you are as your soul. It helps you feel it because I know it's there. That's what I'm working with. So when somebody else sees you that way, it's amazing how activating that is. I've had so many clients that have been, on their spiritual path, quote unquote, for decades, that like lightning bolts just launched. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of pissed that I didn't know this 20 years ago, but I'm glad I know it now. And then I have others that just kind of stepped into this kind of way of being, and they felt very welcomed. They felt confident, and boy, they skipped a lot of shenanigans along the way too, which is awesome.
I love it. I love the way that you show up in the windows of opportunity that that anyone who participates in, again, gets invited to delve behind. So again, guys, special offer. Click on the special offer button right there on the webcast page. you'll be directed to the marketplace where you see Jill's beautiful picture. Just click on the special offer right there, and it'll take you to the page where you can go ahead and add this to the cart. Remember, the first 10 purchasers get a private reading with Jill, and you can also get to this page by typing into your browser beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. And from there, again, find Jill's picture and follow the steps from there. So phenomenal. And with that, Jill, let's take some live callers.
Let's do it. Love this part,
Go
too.
here. So first caller I want to take is from San Rafael, telephone number ending in 4620.
Keep us going in the next few months. And October's a big
We hear you there.
It's about equilibrium and balance.
Well, she's listening to something. Let me try. San Rafael, are you there?
Because
All right. Let's go to Cleveland, Ohio then. Cleveland, Ohio, telephone number ending in 3220.
Good evening, John. Hello, Jose.
Good evening. Hi, who are we speaking with?
This is Michael.
Hey, Michael, what's your question for Jill?
Somebody brought up the date July 26th just recently, and on July 25th, I had a bunch of stuff happen to me, continuing to create chaos and happening to me, and I'm injuring myself and stuff. But it was a really significant date. I'm wondering if they have anything to say about that, or if it's just some of us. I'm an old timer and all this.
Okay. So, Michael, what I'm getting from this is that did you have forewarning of the importance of the date before the events happened, or was it in hindsight that you heard about the importance of that date?
It's a little bit of both. Somebody said watch July, things will happen, but I thought it was a positive way.
Okay, got it. Okay, so I'm kind of debating with my team about whether to go
I love this.
Not only me, I didn't bring the date up. I just heard this date. Yeah. I think it was Patricia.
I think Don knows where I'm going. Right, Don?
I know where you're... Do you want the truth?
Yeah.
You want the truth, Michael, right? Okay.
He wants the truth. Thank you.
So does everybody.
So what you will find with my work is there are some times when I talk about date ranges and dates, but I'm really shown really clearly that there is a kind of before version, again, these before and afters, right? There's one version of spirituality and consciousness where there's a lot of predictions, and this date's going to be great, and that date's going to be great. Watch out for this month. And what it does is it really takes you out of your sovereignty, because truly the after is every single breath is an amazing opportunity for source energy to soar. So are there different alignments and things like that that can affect our energy? Yes, but they don't always have to be negative. Mercury retrogrades for me and my energy are awesome. I love Mercury retrogrades. I actually look forward to them. So there's just a really upgraded way that we can look at everything that happens here, whether it's retrogrades or different dates and things like that. So for me, as your sister here, Michael, I'm going to offer you that those dates, predictions, are distracting.
Okay.
Do you feel bummed about that?
No, I'm not bummed about that. I heard about all of the dates after the dates.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing was a psychic friend of mine said, hey, look, this was way back in April.
Yeah.
Said, look to July.
But what was wrong with your June and August is what your team is saying to me.
Oh, nothing. Nothing
right?
at all.
Nothing, exactly. So from your team's perspective, that one date or that 1 month, it wasn't any more meaningful or less meaningful than any of the other months in this year. So do you see what I'm saying? Our minds literally can get really enchanted and distracted and literally like that, cattle being herded. Oh, focus on this, or what about that? And see, now you're thinking back to July. My friend, that's
Well, yeah, because in July, before when the deer didn't take me out, the week before, I thought, well, yeah, heaven's there. And then the accident happened, and then now just recently another accident happened. That's why I'm saying, but after in hindsight, I'm listening to this just the other day, and it's on the equinox, and she says, well, this began she said July 26th.
Yeah.
And that's why I was just asking if anybody picked up. I mean, I was the only one having problems in those 2 days? I don't think so. That's why I'm asking.
Right. And I would just say that
and karma and everything, in there, but
right.
That was the other
there's a whole
I know what they thought about the dates, and I really like what you just said too, because it makes a lot of sense. Because that's how I always look at it. Like,
yeah. There's a whole upgraded view here. So
you're not taking away my choice. So whatever.
That's right. Well, there you go, Michael.
Yeah, that's awesome. And something that I want to ask you, Jill, and Michael, it's because I have people read me all the time. It's part of my job. Lucky me, right? And I get people who are extremely accurate with dates and pointing things out, and it's so cool, but it's just cool. It's cool that they can pinpoint dates, but that's not stopping me from living and opening up or being open to possibilities showing up. And yeah, they guessed that on May 14th I was going to be traveling to so-and-so place and all that. It's like, that's pretty freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you stay open to the awarenesses and to the awe and inspiration every day.
Yeah. I'll totally own the fact that I get really annoyed with things in this reality that I see suppressing our sovereignty. I get annoyed when I even talk to a client/friend and they're like, well, I'm in, Austin, Texas, and I've been told I can't leave yet. I guess I'm supposed to stay here a while. And I'm like, who's running the show, babe? I mean, if you want to leave, then leave. Who told you you can't leave? To whom did you hand your authority, my dear? I just don't see that we need to live that way anymore, you guys. We're not. This isn't paint by numbers. This isn't connect the dots. We're off chart here. We're in uncharted territory, and the sooner we begin to adapt ourselves to that way of being and that way of creating, I feel like the more likely we are to literally get onto that upper parking garage that's above this one versus going back down to the bottom and starting up again.
Jill, this is so cool because I've had these things come up also, and it seemed like the either or, and I catch myself. It's like, ooh, hold on a second. I actually get to choose, and it's almost like a shamanic test. Are you going to choose to vibrate in the either or as we get presented these things? Or you're going to go, that's cool, and I wonder what else can show up. Or if that does show up, I wonder how I'm going to react and play with it. And I wonder how it's showing up to help me grow instead of, I wonder if it's going to show up and am I going to be a victim of it one way or the other. And I truly think it's a shamanic test for all of us at a certain level.
Yeah. That's how the experiment is witnessed. It doesn't happen until you witness it. So you're not making a choice, but you have to witness it.
Okay, I'm going to be so bold here. Screw witness. Create, man. Create, brother.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's right, but I mean, the experiment doesn't happen unless it's being observed. Even Einstein knew that. The experiment doesn't happen unless you're watching it. So if nobody's watching,
that's the present
you make that
interpretation
choice
of quantum physics, but if the atom didn't decide to move, then it couldn't be observed. So we're not bystanders.
Yeah, but you're looking to see the atom
participants.
move. You're looking to see the atom move.
I'd rather be the atom. I don't want to.
I would.
I want to be the show.
I think Jill's arguing that you're the atom also, and so you're not just witnessing something fly in front of you. So she's saying create yourself as the atom, and then you can decide which direction to go in. So it's really cool. And it's semantics that we're talking about earlier, but your question and the conversation we brought up was so relevant, Michael, and into stepping into the new energy. So thank you so much.
I heard it in the beginning of the call, and I thought, well, if they call me, I'm asking this.
Awesome question. Thank you so much.
Good to hear you, brother.
Awesome. I love where that conversation led. That was great.
Everybody saw my feisty side.
I like feisty. Well, but again, that's what we're doing. We're creating, and the feistiness is our passion coming up. And God, it's time to ignite that passion. It's have an opinion, come up with it, and that's just you fighting for your light. saying, this is my life, this is how I choose to experience it. So it's awesome. Let's get to another caller. You've been on the call for a long time, so I want to pick on you. A caller from Yardley, Pennsylvania, telephone number ending in 3598.
Yes, this is Millie.
Hey, Millie.
I'm reluctant to ask a question at this point.
Oh, no.
Oh, Lord.
Do
you have any messages for me?
Millie, did you have another question, though? I promised to be nice.
No, actually, I didn't.
Okay.
But I just curious to know if there's anything that would be helpful for me to know at this point.
The first thing I'm getting from your team really clearly is a big thank you. You have been an example of compassionate, nurturing love in so many instances in your life. And I feel like there hasn't been maybe your fair share of thank yous. So your team is very, I want to say, pleased with you and wants you to know that you have really delivered a form of what I see as almost like Mother Mary energy that's very nurturing, very compassionate, obviously very loving, and you do it with grace and ease without even effort, which for a lot of us means that we don't give ourselves credit for it because, it's so easy. It comes so easy, but that doesn't take the cosmic beauty out of it, Millie.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, did you hear her voice change, John?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Millie, there you are. So energetically right now, I feel that you're standing more solidly in that amazing light that you are. And it is so trustworthy. There's my dog Samson snorting again. You are so trustworthy. Your interests for wanting to help other people and wanting to share your light in this world are so magnificent.
Oh, and in that, she will be even more supported, or the support will come with greater ease. Let me rephrase that, because we're always greatly supported, but the acknowledgement of that support, our ability to tap into the support and feel it and have us guide us, becomes less filtered and more pure in its essence, as Millie can pick it up because of her intentionality.
Nice add. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what you have to look forward to, Millie. Way to tap in, Joe. Wow, I love it.
Thank you.
That would be, I would really, really love that. And I almost cried when you were talking, so.
I love you, Millie. Great to see you, sister.
Millie, take advantage of that special offer, because that's what's being opening up, and instead of wanting to, you can actually claim it. And Jill's going to help you guys claim that space. That's what's coming in for us. Again, we've got that divine window that Jill mentioned earlier, and God, it's time for us to go beyond wanting. It's just time, and we have the opportunity to do that. We're being facilitated to go beyond wanting. I don't know why I have to keep repeating that, but it's so important. So
I know why.
Okay. Tell us why, Millie.
Oh, I spend a fair amount of time desiring, whatever word you want to put on it for whatever.
Hmm.
And at the same time, attempting to be totally present. So.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Millie. Thank you for being such a beautiful life.
Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I love that. I absolutely love what she's bringing in.
And I love how she owned it at the beginning. She's like, okay, I'm kind of intimidated now. So great. I love that.
All right. So before I take the next call again, I was talking to Millie about going beyond wanting and the energies that are coming in and the window of opportunity that's available. So this is what Jill's providing in the special offer. It's such an important package, and it's love. Every time Jill comes on, she levels it up. It's like there's like a new platform to stand on as we keep vibrating up and ascending to it. So again, guys, take advantage of that special offer. There's a 2-payment option. It's live classes that start this Sunday that you're going to want to participate in, but the recordings will be up also. And again, you can get to the special offer by clicking on the special offer button or by going to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace and finding Jill's picture on there, clicking on the special offer button, and checking out the package from there. And also, we're going to run the replay of tonight's call, so we'll send a replay link out a little bit later this evening. And with that, Jill, let me take another call. I'm guided to take a caller here from Seattle, Washington. Telephone number ending in 4631.
Hello, this is McAllister.
Oh, what a cool name. Hi, McAllister.
Hi, you guys. Well, this is a thrill, and today is my 66th birthday, and I listen to your show absolutely every day, John, and I just wanted to give myself the benefit of connecting with you, Jill, for my birthday, and there's concern on my part. I don't want for my lifetime as an experiment to have been a failure. And so I would love if I could get your take on if anything is good and anything is wrong.
Okay.
About what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. So, McAllister, what I'm being shown here by your team, first of all, they're all smiling at you.
Good.
And there's a spokesperson coming forward, and I love it when they do that. And the spokesperson is saying, how could you not be a success? Look at you. Energetically, to be this pure, literally, like John was describing earlier, that childlike sort of enthusiasm and bright, shiny light at 66, that you deserve every gold medal that's ever. That's not easy, McAllister. This is so important. Your team is like, you should be so proud of yourself for being so intact in love and in light and in your vision, remaining strong for what a relationship can be, what a human can be, what this world can be. I also feel like you have a very beautiful connection with her. And she's saying, that's my girl. So you are doing so many things so beautiful. And what your team is also wanting to point out, McAllister, is what they're showing me is what they're most excited about are the things that you don't work. It's not the efforts from study or trying or effort. It's who you are. And you've allowed yourself, you've kept that like safe in a reality that is kind of designed to seem to smush it out of us. And here you are at 66, still just bright and shiny and awesome, and even brighter than you were 10 years ago from what they're showing me. So you're doing awesome. Trust that. Please trust that. You are very special.
I will. Thank you. And by the way, your voice was dropping out off and on. It could be my connection. It's been weird here. It's been very glitchy today. But thank you very much for that. It's just hard to know sometimes where you are. So we really need, help with someone else's looking at us.
Right. And one way this could be helpful for everybody, because that is a common question I obviously receive in my work, this question of, am I doing it right? And I really encourage everyone to question the question by asking yourself in response, how could I be getting it wrong? What if there is no way to get it wrong? You guys, that is God's unconditional love.
Wow, feel into that, McAllister.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that I'm actually designing everything that I experience, and I think I kind of have set myself up. But since I was real young, I had a very strong impression that I was overzealous in planning this lifetime, and I couldn't wait to get here, take on all these lessons. So anyway, Well, thank you.
I do want to offer you a different interpretation, okay? Because I don't see you as overzealous. Because when I feel the overzealous, at least the way that I'm hearing it, it almost implies that you may feel like you were careless as your soul signature. And I may be wrong about that, but that's not how I see you at all. Okay, I'm going to offer another before and after. And a very common truth is that we create everything in our reality, that everything that we experience is something that we created for ourselves for any number of reasons that we come up with. Another, but after, and after to that, which to me has been a huge upgrade when my team showed it to me, is yes, we are creator energy. We are alongside, what is there, 7 billion people on the planet? Those are just the humans. We are creating alongside 7 billion other creators. So Michael earlier that got in an accident, I think he said with a deer, that deer is also a creator energy. He is a creator energy. Everyone involved was a creator energy. So I actually feel like it's repressive when we try to take responsibility, full responsibility, for everything that has happened in our lives. We do have full responsibility for how we respond to what's happened in our lives, but to put ourselves at the creative mechanism of every other force of life that's also relevant in here, to me is a big mistake, and it's very limiting of our sovereignty, and it's limiting of our ability to honor their sovereignty.
Okay. I can't wait to listen to the replay.
That one's a mind bender for a lot of people. So it's a very different, it's a totally different paradigm to operate from. And to me, from what I know for myself, it's a huge upgrade.
Okay, good.
But Jill, I want to share something. And McAllister, you get the benefit of me being amplified by Jill's guides. Every time I'm on the phone with Jill, I've got like these crazy awarenesses, and I'm so tapped in. It's so cool. And you guys may experience that on the special offer. I'm just saying, it happens to me all the time with Jill. I can tap into the guides. They're like celebrating you. When you said it was your birthday, it's like they're celebrating your life. They're so happy. They're ecstatic. And what I keep getting is like, do you see you? Look at your life and look at who you are and the heart that you are. If you saw yourself from an outsider's perspective, you'd be celebrating you also. So happy birthday.
Yeah, happy exactly. Birthday. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Thank you for the sweetheart that you are, and just, gosh, love yourself, acknowledge yourself. I'm telling you, they're celebrating you on the other side of the veil big time. And I hope that you can feel part of that. And we're celebrating you here as well. So happy birthday. And thank you for sharing your birthday with us.
Oh, thank you very much, you guys.
Thanks, McAllister. You rock. You rock, sister.
All right, McAllister.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Happy birthday.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
So John,
oh, my gosh,
that's
so awesome.
That was so fun. John, do you notice that pattern that we've been seeing here, that there's a lot of these amazing, bright, shiny souls that are here in human form, and there's this very common way of operating from that where we feel like we're not there yet, like we're waiting to graduate or waiting for someone's approval or waiting for our higher self's approval, waiting for some certification of legitimacy that we are eternally light. Do you see that pattern?
I do.
It's heartbreaking, you guys. It's heartbreaking. It's so easy for me to get just so pissed off at the ways that a group like this has been just completely aligned towards something that's not even real. The idea that some in this audience are walking around saying, am I there yet? Does my team like me? Am I on purpose? I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love this reality, and it drives me crazy at the same time. Sorry for that.
No, don't apologize. That actually brings me to something else that I know you can elaborate on. But I'm finding that the other side of the veil is now looking to us for answers. They're looking at us and going, what are you doing next? What are you teaching us? So our guides are learning from us also.
That makes, I mean, I see what you're saying, because this is not a pre-charted course. So it's not like they're sitting back going, oh, I wonder if they're going to make it to number 7. It's non-linear, number 1. There is no number 7. So there's this constant curiosity with, what are our humans doing today? What will they do about this crazy election? And what will the candidates do? Everybody has that wild card potential, us and everyone, and it's everything we can possibly think of is still within a sphere of unconditional love and unconditional acceptance by our team. And that is perhaps the biggest stretch for our minds and our truths and our beliefs to get a hold of. Because it can't be proven to you. It can't be proven to you. And I don't care how many people are out there saying, well, you know, if you're human, you must not have been good enough to stay in heaven. That doesn't mean it's true. It's still a lie.
Thank you.
We are here because we wanted to be the light of God in human form. And I totally get those beautiful egos that are out there saying, well, if I shine too brightly, I think I might get arrogant. No, you won't. Because arrogance is saying, I'm better than you. And that's not us. We want to glow, off the charts glow in our light for the benefit of all. Not to step on somebody else on the way forward. That's not us. This isn't about arrogance. This is about owning the amazing light and love and brilliance that's here.
So beautiful. What a great call. I love the comments that are coming in, Jill. DJ from, is it Mississippi or is it Michigan? I get it wrong all the time. It's MI. I don't know why. I'll have a block.
I think that's
DJ
Michigan.
Michigan, I think so also, but yeah, Mississippi's MS. Okay. Or that's Missouri. See, there I go again. Doesn't matter. This is very eye-opening and wonderful. Many thanks and blessings. And Suzanne's writing, and Jill's, Suzanne was writing that your voice was in and out a little bit. But that's okay. But she's saying that she loves that you're saying that there's no way to fail or to get it wrong. It's impossible as God. You got it, Jill. And Suzanne, thank you so much for writing that in. And so many other people are commenting. Jill, this has been wonderful. And I know you're ready to take it to new heights. And I know that you're ready to take it deeper. So the special offer is, what a great platform of all the passion that you have coming through with the special offer, because I know you're going to go deep and wide and just really shake the tree, which is what you're here to do. So wonderful. So guys, again, the special offer, you can get there by clicking on the special offer button or by going to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/marketplace. And again, I promise we will send out the replay link in just a little bit. Watch for the email, which will probably be in the next 30 to 45 minutes. And it'll be available for you guys to listen to all week long and into the weekend as you start the course on Sunday, if you're going to participate live. And with that, Jill, you rock. Again, I love your heart. I love how emotional you get. I love how upset you get and how happy you get as well, because that's you're just leading the charge. You're a warrior of light, and just thank you for your beautiful presence and what you're doing and sharing on our platform here on Beyond the Ordinary.
Thank you so much, and I'm excited for who shows up for this 2017 Tune Our World project. I am very excited, and tonight was a blast. I always love my time with you, John, so thank you for everyone that was here, and thank you to you and your entire staff for making it so straightforward and easy to participate. So thank you for everything. It's an honor.
Absolutely. And it's an honor to share this platform with all of you who are listening. You guys are, to think that you're anything less than light, completely illuminated. I'm here to tell you, and Jill will scream it at you if you're not careful. It's preposterous in our eyes, and You can choose to resonate there, but know that you're being held in love in the full brightness that you are whenever you're on the calls with us or participating with us, because we see you and you can't hide. We feel you. We see you.
I love you.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Love you enough to tell you the truth. That's why we're here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So love you guys. Look forward to seeing you in the next call. Have a great evening.